Moving on with our bulletin this morning, and as the country celebrates the life and spirit of Nelson Mandela in the month of July, we zoom in on people and organizations that are keeping with such Ubuntu and selflessness. One such is Kids Haven, founded by Moira Simpson, which caters for the increasing number of children on the streets of Benoni in Ekurhuleni. Their vision is to rehabilitate street children and empower them to play their positive role in the community. As part of their fundraising initiative this month, they will celebrate the legacy of service to others as set by our former president, Nelson Mandela. Now, joining us in studio is Dikeledi Clow, who is one of the volunteers at Kids Haven. Good morning to you, Dikeledi. Thank you very much for joining us here on Afro Worldview.
Thank you very much, and good morning.
Thank you. So talk us through what Kids Haven is, what you guys do, and a little bit of information about how you guys started.
Okay. Kids Haven, as you've mentioned earlier, we work with former street. We take children off the street, rather, and we house them. So Kids Haven is a residential care service for street children. We also have a drop-off, sort of a drop-in center. So you'll find with most youth and childcare centers, some street children struggle to leave the streets right away. So they can come in, get a shower, get care, medical help if they need through our social workers, and we cater for their needs. And the longer term, we house them in our residential care program.
So you did mention that there is a drop-off facility. Is that how most of the kids come to Kids Haven? Or is there a plan of action to actively go to the streets and recover these children?
Yes, we do have campaigns where we reach out to the kids with our pre-care team. So what we do is we normally collect toiletries, things that they might need, and we go and reach out to them in the streets. Usually the older kids are hesitant to bring themselves to the center. We establish a relationship and figure out how they ended up there. We give them kits, toothpaste, just the normal stuff that you would need to survive. And then from there on, we try to keep contact with them as it goes along. And in other instances, we've got social workers that contact us, and then the kids are able to also come through them.
As much as in my mind and maybe your mind and a lot of our viewers' minds, taking someone from the streets is an amazing initiative and it's great, but I can only imagine that transition for someone who is used to that sort of environment. I can't imagine it being easy, even though it seems better from our perspective. Talk us through the rehabilitation and what that process is like.
So what you've just mentioned, we from time to time, it doesn't happen a lot. We will have some of our older kids absconding. They would end up, going back to the streets because it's a trust factor that's involved. A lot of the kids have come. They're not necessarily orphans. We'll have people asking, are they orphans? They're not orphans. Some of them come from homes where they've been abused by adults, and so in order for them to begin trusting us and coming from the streets voluntarily, we would go out to them, make sure that we give them the things that they need. And then in terms of rehabilitating them, there are programs within the center already. So for some of them who do come, and obviously they will talk to their friends when they go back, if they're staying, say, 2 or 3 months or whatnot, we try to get them in a program to deal with their experiences. So we have therapists, social workers are there, and we take them through that whole process, speaking through their issues and making sure professionals are there to help them process what's going on. And then we try to contact responsible family members if it is safe to do so. It is quite a process, but it's really about developing trust with them first. And we find that from time to time that grows, and then they come back.
Dikeledi, you are also involved in the fundraising for Kids Haven, if I'm not mistaken. I can only imagine the amount of funds that is needed to take care of these children. I don't know how much it would cost to take care of one of these kids for a month, but just talk us through how Kids Haven is funded and how you guys are doing financially.
I mean, it has been tough. I think the last couple of years have proven, just last year alone, it cost us about, I think, 5,500 per child.
Wow.
Per month. And we were sitting at around 180 odd, if I'm okay, yeah. I think I'm in the ballpark. So each child, and each year that number increases.
Sure.
We get the majority of our funding from the Department of Social Services, so that accounts for about 45 odd percent. The rest we have to source ourselves.
Okay.
So thankfully there are some generous sponsors, but we are always in need. I think in particularly last year was a challenging year for us because getting funding proved to be a lot more difficult with each year, of course.
Yeah, definitely. So July is the month in which we all commemorate Tata Nelson Mandela. Madiba Day is coming up. You guys have some special things happening at Kids Haven. Just talk us through what you have planned for this month.
Okay. So what we do for Nelson Mandela, last year we organized pretty much a fun day. So what we do is make it an open house for people and companies to come. So prior to that, we'll have companies that have already made arrangements to come visit with our children. And what we do, we'll block out times during the day where they play games and we do arts and crafts. And also another thing that we've got the younger kids that have the creche. They're having, I think this year they're doing storytelling or watching a film. So things like that. And another thing we really enjoy is when companies come and prepare lunch for the day and give our cooking staff a break. And also our care workers are able to play games and everything with the kids. We also accept, obviously, clothing, donated goods. And then we collect all of that on the day as the visitors come.
Yeah. Right, perfect. So, Dikoledi, if people are watching and they want to get involved or just come and spend time with the kids, how do they reach out? How do they get involved?
Okay. Kids Haven has a donation center. And our contact details, if you go onto our website, if they call the donation center, they will be able to contact our fundraising coordinator, who will then get them in touch with the relevant person at the center. From there on, it's really simple. They just ask for the time that's available, and then they can come and pop in. The donation center is there to facilitate all of that. So once they've contacted them, they are able to go through, to get the information they need.
All right,
yeah.
Perfect. Dikoledi, thank you very much for joining us this morning, and all the best with the amazing work that you guys are doing. I hope you receive all of the support that you guys required. Continue doing the great work that you are doing.
Thank you very much.
It's my absolute pleasure. That was Dikoledi Klaus. She is from Kids Haven, an organization that takes care of children and sort of rehabilitates them from the streets. This is in Benoni in the Ekurhuleni area. But stay tuned to Afro World View for any further details.